Don't scroll. I know you've seen 100 messages like this. I know your thumb is already trained to keep moving. I know a part of you is already saying, not another one. Not another spiritual post trying to get my attention. But something stopped you. Something made you pause right here, right now, when you could have kept scrolling like you always do. Something in your chest tightened. Something in your stomach flipped. Something whispered, quietly, but clearly. This one is different. This one is for me. That something is your soul. And your soul is right. Don't scroll. Stay with me. Just for a few minutes. Because what I'm about to tell you in this first part will explain everything you've been feeling. The restlessness you can't name. The dreams that feel too real. The strange sense that something is about to happen, something big, something life-changing, even though nothing has visibly changed in your outer world. You've been feeling it, haven't you? The past few days. Maybe the past few weeks. Something has been different. You can't put your finger on it. You can't explain it to your friends without sounding crazy. But you feel it. In your chest. In your gut. In the way you keep picking up your phone and putting it down, checking notifications that aren't there, feeling like you're waiting for something, but you don't know what. That's not anxiety. That's not overthinking. That's not your imagination running wild. That's connection. That's your soulmate reaching for you through the only channel that's still open, the spiritual one. The one that doesn't need cell service or courage or the right timing. The one that bypasses all the excuses and lands straight in your chest when you least expect it. Your soulmate is trying to reach you. Right now. At this exact moment. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Not when the timing is better or the circumstances are easier or the fear has finally gone away. Right now. And they're not just thinking about you casually. They're not just wondering how you're doing. They're not just feeling a little nostalgic while scrolling through old photos of the two of you. They are desperate. Listen to me. Your heart needs this right now. And I mean right now. Not after you finish reading this sentence, not after you check that notification, not after you take a break and come back later. Right now. Because the timing of you seeing these words is not random. It's not algorithmic. It's not a coincidence that you opened this message at this exact moment on this exact day. It's divine alignment. It's your soul syncing up with what God has already arranged. It's proof that you're not crazy for still hoping, still believing, still waiting. Something in you already knows this is true. That's why you're still reading. That's why you didn't scroll. That's why something in your chest is tighter than it was 5 minutes ago. That's recognition. That's your soul saying, finally. Someone is telling the truth. Don't scroll. Stay with me. This is where most people scroll away because it's easier to doubt than to believe. Don't be most people. Here's what desperation looks like when it's real. Not the movie version. The real version. The kind of desperate I'm talking about doesn't come from loneliness. It doesn't come from boredom. It doesn't come from having nothing better to do on a Friday night. It comes from months, maybe years, of telling yourself you're fine when you're not. Of pretending you don't care when you do. Of convincing yourself that you can live without someone when every cell in your body, every dream you have, every quiet moment of honesty knows that you can't. That's where your soulmate is right now. They have been sitting with something for days, maybe weeks, maybe longer, and the weight of it has become unbearable. It sits on their chest when they wake up in the morning. It follows them through every hour of their day. It lies down with them at night and keeps them staring at the ceiling until 3 a.m., until 4 a.m., until the sun comes up and they have to pretend to be fine all over again. They've tried to ignore it. They've tried to distract themselves with work, with people, with anything that would fill the space where you used to be. They've tried to convince themselves that it could wait. That it wasn't that important. That they could deal with it later when they were stronger, braver, more ready, when their life was less complicated, when the timing was better. But later has arrived. And they can't wait anymore. Because every day they wait is another day of living a lie. Every day they stay silent is another day of pretending they don't care about you. Every day they don't reach out is another day they risk losing you forever, not as a friend, not as a memory, but as a possibility. And that risk, the risk of losing you for good, has finally become more terrifying than any risk they'd have to take to keep you. They need to talk to you. Right now. And it's urgent. Don't scroll. I'm going to ask you something. And I want you to answer honestly. Not to me. Not out loud. To yourself. In the privacy of your own heart. Have you been feeling something different lately? Not the usual ache. Not the familiar missing that you've learned to live with. Something else. Something new. A restlessness you can't explain. A sense that something is about to shift. A feeling that the silence between you and them is about to break, not because you're going to reach out, but because something is coming toward you. You've been picking up your phone and putting it down. Checking notifications that aren't there. Feeling like you're waiting for a message that hasn't arrived yet, but you can feel it coming. You've been dreaming about them more than usual. Waking up with their name on your lips. Reaching for someone who isn't there. Feeling disoriented for a few seconds before you remember where you are, who you're with, what your life looks like now. You've been hearing songs that remind you of them everywhere you go. Seeing their name in random places, on a receipt, on a license plate, in a coffee shop. Feeling a strange sense of anticipation that you can't explain to anyone because you sound crazy when you try. That's not coincidence. That's not your mind playing tricks on you. That's not you being unable to let go. That's their urgency reaching you. That's how soul connections work. They don't need phones or texts or social media or any of the things we think we need to communicate. They communicate through energy. Through restlessness. Through the strange, unexplainable feeling that something is happening even when nothing has visibly changed in your outer world. Your soulmate has been sending you waves of urgency for days. Maybe longer. And you've been feeling every single one. That's why you're restless. That's why you can't sleep. That's why you keep checking your phone even though you know there's nothing there. You're not broken. You're not anxious. You're not imagining things. You're connected. And that connection is about to become undeniable. Listen to me. Your heart needs this right now. Here's what's been happening inside your soulmate. The parts you can't see. The parts they haven't told anyone, not their best friend, not their family, not the person they're currently with. The parts they've been hiding even from themselves. I'm going to tell you because you need to know that this time is different. That this urgency is not a passing feeling. That what's coming for you is real. They've been having a war with themselves. Not the quiet, manageable kind of internal conflict that you can push aside and deal with later. The loud, consuming, keep you up at night, can't think about anything else, falling apart at the seams kind. Every day, they wake up and tell themselves today will be different. Today they'll focus. Today they'll be present in their own life. Today they'll stop thinking about you. And every day, by noon, sometimes by 10 a.m., sometimes before they've even gotten out of bed, they've failed. Because you're not a thought they can control. You're not a memory they can file away in a drawer and forget about. You're not a feeling they can talk themselves out of with logic and reason and lists of why you weren't right for each other. You're a presence. A frequency. A constant hum in the background of every moment, every conversation, every attempt to care about anything else. You're there when they're driving. You're there when they're working. You're there when they're sitting across from someone who is supposed to be enough, but isn't. You're there in the quiet moments when there's nowhere left to hide. They can't escape you. And the truth is, they've stopped wanting to. Don't scroll. Stay with me. I'm about to tell you something that will change how you see everything. They've been asking themselves questions they've been afraid to ask. Questions that have no easy answers. Questions that, once asked, can't be unasked. Questions that open doors that can't be closed. Why can't I stop thinking about them? Why does everyone else feel like a compromise? Why do I feel more connected to someone I'm not with than the person I'm next to every single day? What am I so afraid of? What if I've already missed my chance? What if they've moved on? What if they're happy with someone else? What if I waited too long? What if I lose them forever? And the answers have been coming. Not all at once. Not in a dramatic flash of clarity with angels singing and clouds parting. Piece by piece. Slowly. Painfully. The way truth arrives when you stop running from it. Like a puzzle that's been scattered for years, scattered across different rooms, different relationships, different versions of themselves, finally coming together. They've realized that they've been hiding. From themselves. From the truth. From you. They've realized that every excuse they've made. About timing, about circumstances, about not being ready, about needing to figure things out first, about being too busy, too stressed, too overwhelmed, was just fear wearing a mask. Fear of change. Fear of conflict. Fear of hurting people. Fear of being hurt. Fear of failing. Fear of succeeding. Fear of being seen. Fear of being known. Fear of being loved in a way that actually matters. Fear of being loved by someone who won't leave. And they're tired of being afraid. Listen to me. Your heart needs this right now. They're exhausted from the running, drained from the pretending, worn out from the performance they've been putting on for months, maybe years. They don't want to perform anymore. They don't want to pretend anymore. They don't want to be the person who has it all together when inside they're falling apart. They want to be real. With you. For the first time. Honestly. Messily. Imperfectly. That's why they need to talk to you. Not because they have all the answers. Because they can't live with the questions anymore. Don't scroll. This is the part where most people check out. Don't. I know you've been hurt. I know you've been disappointed. I know you've learned to protect yourself by expecting less, hoping less, believing less. I know you've built walls. I know you've told yourself you're done. I know you've tried to convince yourself that you don't care anymore, that you've moved on, that you're better off without them. And I know, because I can feel it in the way you're still reading, that none of it worked. Because you can't build a wall high enough to keep out someone your soul recognizes. You can't convince yourself you don't care about someone who lives in your dreams. You can't move on from someone who was never meant to be moved on from. They keep finding their way in. Through the cracks. Through the quiet moments. Through the 3 a.m. thoughts you can't control. That's not weakness. That's not desperation. That's not you being unable to let go. That's the connection. The one that was there before you met. The one that will be there long after. The one that doesn't care about your walls or your fears or your carefully constructed defenses. It's real. It's persistent. And it's about to become undeniable. Let me ask you something else. And really think about it. Don't give me the answer your logical mind wants to give. Give me the answer your heart knows is true. Have you noticed a shift in your dreams lately? Not the usual random dreams that don't mean anything. The ones that feel different. The ones that feel real. The ones where they show up and you can feel them, actually feel them, like they're right there in the room with you. You wake up and for a few seconds, you forget they're not there. You reach for them. You say their name. And then reality hits and you remember. That's not your brain processing old memories. That's not your subconscious playing tricks on you. That's them. Reaching for you in the only way they could before they were brave enough to reach out in real life. They've been dreaming about you too. Waking up disoriented, reaching for you, feeling your absence like a physical weight on their chest. Feeling like they just lost something even though nothing has changed. That's the connection. The one that doesn't care about distance or time or circumstances or who is with whom. It's real. It's persistent. And it's about to become undeniable. Don't scroll. Stay with me. We're about halfway through this first part, and I need you to stay until the end. Here's what I need you to understand before we move on. And this is important. This is the thing that will save you from months of confusion. The urgency your soulmate is feeling, the reason they need to talk to you right now, is not about them being lonely. It's not about them being bored. It's not about them having a fight with the other person and suddenly remembering you exist. It's about them finally waking up. Waking up to the truth that they've been living a life that looks right but feels wrong. Waking up to the truth that they've been settling for less than what they deserve, and less than what you deserve. Waking up to the truth that every day they spend not choosing you is a day they're choosing against themselves. They're not running to you because they have nowhere else to go. They're running to you because they finally know where home is. And home, real home, soul home, is you. That's why this is different. That's why you should pay attention. That's why you didn't scroll. Because something in you knows that this time, it's real. Breathe. Put your hand on your chest. Feel your heartbeat. You're still here. You made it through part 1. And part 2 is where I'm going to tell you exactly what they're going to say when they reach out, the words, the energy, the truth behind the message. But for now, sit with this. Your soulmate is saying they want to talk to you right now. That it's very urgent. And you didn't scroll past it. That wasn't an accident. Don't scroll. Part 2 is here. And if you made it through part 1, if you stayed when everything in you wanted to protect yourself by walking away, then you're ready for what comes next. Because part 1 was about the urgency you've been feeling. The restlessness. The dreams. The sense that something is about to shift. Part 2 is about what happens when that shift arrives. Part 2 is about the message that's coming. The conversation that's about to happen. The words your soulmate has been trying to say for weeks, maybe months, and is finally ready to speak out loud. So take a breath. Stay with me. Don't scroll. Because what I'm about to tell you is going to answer the question that's been keeping you up at night. What are they going to say? Listen to me. Your heart needs this right now. I'm not going to give you the exact words. I can't do that. Every soulmate connection is different, and the words will be shaped by your specific story, your specific history, your specific wounds and hopes and fears. But I can tell you the truth behind the words. The energy behind the message. The thing they've been trying to say without knowing how. And once you know that, you'll recognize their message the moment it arrives. Because it won't sound like a script. It won't sound rehearsed. It will sound like truth. Messy, imperfect, honest truth. Here's what they're going to say. They're going to start by telling you that they've been wrong. Not with dramatic, over-the-top apologies that feel more about them than about you. Not with grand gestures designed to prove how sorry they are. Honestly. Simply. In a way that you'll recognize as real because it won't feel rehearsed. There will be pauses. Stumbles. Moments where they don't know what to say next. Moments where they have to stop and breathe. Moments where you can hear the emotion in their voice even if they're trying to hide it. That's how you'll know it's real. They're not performing. They're not trying to win you back with the right words. They're just finally telling the truth. And the truth is that they've been scared. Don't scroll. Stay with me. This is where most people stop reading because it hurts to hear. But you need to hear it. Scared of how much they feel for you. Scared of what it would mean to actually choose you. Scared of the changes they'd have to make. Scared of disappointing people whose opinions they've been trying to manage. Scared of failing. Scared of hurting people. Scared of being hurt. Scared of being seen. Scared of being known. Scared of being loved in a way that actually matters. They're going to admit all of this. Not because they're proud of it. Because they're tired of hiding behind it. They're going to say that they've tried to move on. They've tried to convince themselves that what they feel for you isn't real, or isn't sustainable, or isn't worth the upheaval it would take to actually be with you. They've tried dating other people. They've tried staying busy. They've tried throwing themselves into work, into hobbies, into anything that would fill the space where you used to be. They've tried telling themselves that time and distance would do what they couldn't do. Make the feelings fade. Make you forgettable. Make you just another person they used to know. And they're going to admit, maybe with difficulty, maybe with tears, that none of it worked. That every attempt to replace you just proved that you can't be replaced. That every distraction just made them miss you more. That every night next to someone else just made them wish it was you. That every conversation that didn't include you felt like a conversation that didn't matter. Listen to me. Your heart needs this right now. They're going to say that they don't have all the answers. They don't know how this is going to work. They don't know if they're ready. They don't know if they deserve you. They don't know if you'll even want to hear from them after everything. They're going to be honest about their uncertainty. They're not going to promise you a fairy tale. They're not going to guarantee that everything will be perfect from now on. But they're going to say that they want to try. That they want to figure it out. That they want to stop running and start showing up. That they want to be the person who deserves you, even if they're not there yet. And then they're going to ask you. Not demand. Not expect. Not assume. Ask. Are you still there? Did I wait too long? Have you moved on? Is there still a chance for us? That's what's been keeping them up at night. Not the fear of rejection. The fear that you've already closed the door. That you've already given up on them. That you've already found someone else who treats you the way you deserve to be treated. Because they know they don't deserve your patience. They know they've tested it. They know they've pushed it. They know there have been moments when you had every right to walk away and never look back. And somehow, impossibly, miraculously, you're still here. That's what breaks their heart. And that's what gives them hope. Don't scroll. This next part is important. They're going to tell you something they've never told anyone else. Something they've been holding in their chest for months. Something they were too afraid to say out loud because saying it would make it real. They're going to tell you that they love you. Not, I care about you. Not, you mean a lot to me. Not, I have feelings for you. Love. The real kind. The scary kind. The kind that doesn't go away no matter how far you run. The kind that shows up in dreams and random memories and moments when you least expect it. The kind that makes everyone else feel like a compromise. They love you. They've always loved you. And they're done pretending otherwise. Listen to me. Your heart needs this right now. I know you've heard words like this before. I know you've been told, I love you, by people who didn't mean it. I know you've been hurt by promises that turned out to be empty. But this is different. And here's how you'll know. They're not going to say it to get something from you. They're not going to say it because they want you to say it back. They're not going to say it because they're hoping it will fix everything. They're going to say it because it's the truth. And they can't hold the truth inside anymore. That's what the urgency is about. Not a proposal. Not a promise. Not a guarantee. The truth. They've been living a lie. Pretending they don't care. Pretending they've moved on. Pretending that what you had wasn't as real as it was. And they can't pretend anymore. That's why they need to talk to you right now. That's why it's urgent. Because every day they don't tell you the truth is another day they betray themselves. And they're tired of self-betrayal. Don't scroll. Stay with me. We're almost through part 2. Here's what I need you to understand before we move on. When they reach out, when the message comes, when the call comes, when the conversation happens, you're going to feel a lot of things. Relief. That the waiting might finally be over. Fear. That it might not work out. Hope. That this time could be different. Anger. That it took them so long. Love. That never really went away. All of those feelings are valid. All of them deserve space. None of them mean you're weak or desperate or foolish. They mean you're human. And you've been through something hard. But here's what I need you to remember when those feelings come flooding in. You don't have to answer immediately. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to know what you want or what you're willing to give. You can take a breath. You can take a day. You can take whatever time you need to feel clear. Because the person who is truly meant for you will not disappear because you needed time to think. They will not punish you for protecting your heart. They will not hold your hesitation against you. They will wait. Because they've already waited. And because they know, finally know, that you're worth waiting for. Listen to me. Your heart needs this right now. One more thing before part 2 ends. The angel numbers you've been seeing, 111, 222, 444, they're not random. They're not coincidences. They're confirmations that what's happening is real. 111 means a new beginning is here. Not coming. Here. The door is open. 222 means balance is being restored. What was out of alignment is coming back into harmony. 444 means protection. You are being held. You are safe. Even when it doesn't feel like it. These numbers have been showing up because the universe has been preparing you for this moment. Not to scare you. To steady you. Because what's coming requires steadiness. Not excitement. Not anxiety. Not desperate hope. Steadiness. The ability to receive without grasping. To hope without clinging. To trust without needing certainty. That's what the waiting has been teaching you. And you've learned it well. Now part 3 is where I tell you what you need to do when they reach out. How to respond. What to say. How to protect your heart without closing it. But for now, sit with this. Your soulmate is going to tell you the truth. That they love you. That they were wrong to run. That they want to try. And when they do, you'll be ready. Not because you have all the answers. Because you have something better. You have peace.